Most people think Social Security is simple. You work, you pay in, you collect. But here's the thing. The way you claim Social Security could cost you over $200,000 in your lifetime. Same work history, same system, different outcome. And it all comes down to a 3-page document almost nobody reads correctly. Welcome back. I'm Jacqueline Shattuck, certified financial planner and host of the 4-time Emmy-nominated PBS show, My Money Mentors. And on this channel, we cut through the noise on retirement planning so you can make the decisions that actually matter with confidence. If you're new here, hit subscribe. We publish new retirement strategy content every week, and today's video is one of the most important ones we've done. Because today we're going into the Social Security statement, what it actually tells you, what it doesn't, and the strategy decisions hiding inside it that most people completely miss. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for, exactly what your options are, and exactly what to do next. Let's get into it. Here's what nobody tells you about Social Security. The decisions you make about it are pretty much permanent. Not hard to reverse, not complicated to undo, pretty much permanent. When you claim, how you claim, whether your earnings record is even accurate, once you pull that trigger, you're locked in. And the gap between getting this right and getting this wrong is not small. We're talking over $1,000 a month difference in income every single month for the rest of your life. That's not a rounding error. Over a 20 to 25 year retirement, that's a 6-figure swing in total lifetime income from the exact same work history, the exact same decade of paying into the system. So I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to read your Social Security statement like a professional. We're gonna cover the 3 numbers that define your retirement income, the claiming decision most people get completely wrong, and the tax trap that almost nobody sees coming. Stay with me. It's worth your full attention. So let's start at the beginning. Your Social Security statement lives at ssa.gov. You can create a free My Social Security account in about 5 minutes. All you need is your Social Security number and some basic identifying information. Inside that account, you'll find a complete record of everything the Social Security Administration has on file about you. Your earnings going back to your very first job, your projected benefit at 3 different claiming ages, and some details most people scroll right past without realizing how important they are. Here's why I want you to look at this today, not next year, not the year before you retire. This document contains errors more often than people realize. And those errors, if you don't catch them, lower your benefit permanently. Here's what you need to understand about how your benefit is actually calculated, because this is where one of the biggest misconceptions I run into lives. Your Social Security benefit is not based on your last salary. A lot of people assume the SSA looks at what you were making toward the end of your career and builds your check around that number. That's not how it works. Social Security takes your highest 35 years of earnings, adjust each one of those years for inflation, and averages them together. They run that average through a formula, and that calculates your monthly benefit. Every single year in that 35-year window matters. If you worked fewer than 35 years, the SSA doesn't skip those missing years. They fill them in with a 0. Think about what that means. 5 years of zeros dragging down your lifetime earnings average. That's not a small hit. That can cost you hundreds of dollars per month, every month for the rest of your retirement. So step 1, when you pull up your statement, scroll through your year-by-year earnings history and verify it. Make sure every year you worked is showing the correct income. If something looks wrong, a year is missing, a number seems too low, you can dispute it. But you need documentation. and you need to catch it before too much time passes. Once you've verified your earnings record, the next thing to look at is your projected benefit section. And on your statement, you're going to see 3 distinct numbers. Number 1, what you'd receive if you claimed at age 62, the earliest possible age to start. Number 2, what you'd receive at your full retirement age, which falls somewhere between 66 and 67, depending on when you were born. Number 3, what you'd receive if you waited all the way to age 70, the age at which delayed retirement credits stop accumulating. Now, here's the mistake most people make when they look at these 3 numbers. They treat it like a timing question. When do I want to start receiving my check? But that's the wrong frame entirely. This is not a timing decision. This is a permanent income decision. If you claim at 62, your benefit is reduced, not temporarily, not until you hit full retirement age, permanently, for life. If you delay to 70, your benefit increases permanently. Every year you wait past full retirement age adds roughly 8% per year to your monthly check. That's a guaranteed permanent return on waiting that you basically can't match with most low-risk investments. And the difference between those 2 paths is not subtle. Let me put actual numbers on this because percentages can feel abstract. Let's say your full retirement benefit is $2,000 a month. That's your baseline. That's what you've earned. Claim at 62, that drops to roughly $1,400 a month. A 30% permanent reduction. Wait until 70, that climbs to roughly $2,480 a month. A 24% permanent increase. The spread between those 2 outcomes is $1,000 per month. Over a 20-year retirement, that's about $259,000 in total lifetime income. From the same work history, the same 35 years of contributions, just a different decision about when to start. Now, I want to be really direct here because I've seen the content that says just wait until 70 and you'll be fine. This is not what I'm telling you. Waiting until 70 is not always the right answer. And I'm gonna explain exactly when it's the wrong answer in just a minute. But before we get there, I need you to feel the weight of this decision because too many people make it casually without realizing they're locking in a number they'll live with for the next 2 or 3 decades. I want you to pause here for just a second. If you're within 10 years of retirement and you've not done a Social Security optimization analysis for your specific situation. I'm talking about your income, your savings, your spouse's benefit, your tax picture. That's the most valuable hour that you can spend this year. I work with clients one-on-one to map out exactly this kind of strategy. And I want to offer you a free discovery call, no pitch, no pressure, just a focused conversation where we look at your numbers together and figure out what your optimal path actually looks like. The link to book the call is in the description below. Grab a time that works for you and let's talk. Now, let's get back into the strategy. Okay, so when is delaying to 70 actually the wrong call? More often than you think. And it almost always comes down to one thing. The strategy around Social Security is as important as the Social Security decision itself. Here's a scenario I see constantly. Someone retires in their early 60s. They've heard the advice, delay, delay, delay. So they start pulling from their 401k or IRA to cover living expenses while they wait for the bigger check. Smart idea, right? Not if they're pulling from the wrong account. Here's what's actually happening in that early retirement window. Those years between when you stop working and when Social Security actually kicks in. Your income has dropped significantly, which means your tax bracket has also dropped significantly. You're in one of the lowest tax environments you'll ever be in for the rest of your life. That window is a gift. If you use it correctly, you can do Roth conversions at lower rates, move money from pre-tax accounts into tax-free accounts, and set yourself up for dramatically lower taxes throughout retirement. This will also lead to lower Medicare premiums, which are tied to your income. But if you blow that window by taking large distributions from your pre-tax retirement accounts to bridge the gap while you wait on Social Security, you've just spiked your taxable income during the exact window when it should be the lowest. You've paid more in taxes than you needed to. You've lost the Roth conversion opportunity, and you've potentially triggered higher Medicare premiums. And here's the hardest part. That window doesn't come back. Once you started Social Security and your required minimum distributions come, your income floor goes up, whether you want it to or not. So yes, delaying Social Security is often the right move, but how you fund that delay and what you do with your accounts in the meantime matters just as much as the claiming age itself. And since we're talking about taxes, I have to cover something that catches people completely off guard. Even people who've done a decent job of retirement planning overall. Social Security benefits can be taxed. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can become taxable income depending on your total income in retirement. This is what we call combined income. And the thresholds that trigger taxation are not indexed to inflation, which means more and more retirees cross them every year without realizing it. Think about what that means for the claiming decision. You delay to 70, you get the bigger check, $2,480 a month instead of $1,400. Great. But if that larger Social Security benefit combined with your retirement account distributions pushes more of your income into taxable territory, you're not keeping what you think you're keeping. This doesn't mean claiming early is better. What it means is that the Social Security decision cannot be made in isolation. It has to be made as part of a coordinated income strategy that accounts for your full picture. Which brings me to the bigger point I want to leave you with. Social Security is not a separate bucket. It never was. It's one part of a connected system, and every decision you make about it ripples through everything else. Your tax bracket, your Medicare premiums, your spouse's survivor benefit, your required minimum distributions, your ability to do Roth conversions, your legacy planning, all of it is connected. The people who get retirement right, the ones who genuinely maximize what they've built over 30 or 35 years of working, are not the people who made the smartest individual decisions. They're the people who saw the full picture and made decisions that worked together as a system. Your Social Security statement is the starting point of that conversation. It tells you what you've built and what your options are. Your strategy is what determines which of those options is right for you. Don't confuse the document for the plan. They're not the same thing. All right, here's exactly what I want you to do. Not next year, this week. Step 1, go to ssa.gov and log in or create your free My Social Security account. It takes about 5 minutes. Step 2, download your statement and go through your earnings history year by year. Verify that every year you worked shows the right income. Flag anything that looks off. You can dispute those errors, but you need to act before records get harder to trace. Step 3, write down your 3 benefit numbers at 62, at your full retirement age, and at 70. Those are your 3 paths. Know what's on the table. Step 4, ask yourself honestly, do you have a strategy that coordinates Social Security with your savings, your tax situation, and your spouse's income? Not a rough idea, an actual strategy. If the answer is no, or even sort of, that's a gap that we need to close. And if you want to close it with someone who does this every day, the link to book a call with me is in the description below. We'll look at your actual numbers, your actual situation, and build a plan that fits your life. Not a template, not generic advice, your plan. Social Security is one of the most valuable financial assets most Americans will ever have, and it's one of the most misunderstood. The gap between a good decision and a poor one isn't a matter of luck. It's a matter of knowing what you're looking at and having a strategy that connects all of the pieces together. Start with your statement, know your numbers, and don't make permanent decisions without a plan behind them. And if you found this valuable, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of conversation I'm having every week, and the families who show up consistently are the ones who are genuinely prepared. Stay golden, and I'll see you in the next video.